Anyway, so I don't know what the story is with the. I don't know. I guess the shear is different. I don't know. We'll have to make a last-minute call on this.
Okay. Make some waves. Make some waves. Just do this.
There's enough rabbis out there trying to make waves. I don't need to make waves.
Not only make waves.
So then let's have a shear at the beach.
What are you doing? The guy from South Bend is trying to ruffle feathers here.
Make waves and matter Zoom calls. You couldn't do it for Pesach, but for Shavuos, no problem.
I do have one lady that's Hakami at Chainik. Her daughter actually is that she's been alone, and Pesach, I didn't let them do this, but they sort of took it at liberty. But what I said is that they should call in before Yom Tov and have the phone on in a different room. And like this, if the woman living alone needs anything, it'll be connected to the daughter's phone.
So she needed companionship.
And she'll go in there and tell them, like, I need this, I need that, I'm not functioning, blah, 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 blah. Okay, that's what I told them to do. They ended up singing Howl with her and the whole deal. Like, I didn't say that. I didn't say you should do that. Okay, Sean, you know what I mean? What can I do? So now they want the same heter for Shavuos. And I'm sort of like, I don't want to tell them that I didn't tell them they were allowed to do singing Hallel and doing all this type of stuff. It's meant as a last resort type thing. Now, maybe it was a last resort to do that.
Why don't you just tell them that it's all usher, and then they'll at least only do the minimum?
I don't know. No, they're Erlich. They're not trying to cheat.
They're really special.
They're not trying to cheat. They're just they didn't. I guess they didn't. Shlomo Zalman pretty much says that the connection of the phones is the isser. Once there's a connection, it's nearly. It's really not so schwer to talk.
So Zoom's okay, you're saying?
We're still what?
Nothing.
But that wouldn't work for Zoom anyways, because Zoom is a writing issue on the screen.
But if you shut the screen off.
But talking about writing, that's what we're up to in the Daf. Hey,
what a good segue.
100%.
There you go.
Where's Devi Bald?
I don't know. He's probably having meetings about face.
Oh.
Can't.
I saw him from Ma'ariv.
Yeah, I wish I'd done Ma'ariv already. Okay.
Yeah, me too. This whole ending at 10 o'clock thing is gournish.
Yes, I know. Don't worry. It's going to change soon once I get an earlier Ma'ariv. It's just because the kids are in the middle of night Seder, so I don't want to kill their night Seder.
Okay.
So, okay, that's just the chazah for the amounts of leather, like how much leather do you have to carry out. And then we had measurements of all types of malachas with leather, and then different cases of trying to use the same measurements of similar items, and then making tefillin and mezuzahs out of duchsustis or klaf. Thank you again for all those that made that easier to understand with the hands-on. Right, so that was basically the entire ayin test on the base. Okay, so now we're up to Daf Pei. The beginning of Daf Pei has a lot of lumdus to it. So Diyoi, again, it starts with the bottom last three words of the previous Daf. Diyoi kedei lichtoi, right? So die is enough to write two ICS. That's what we said. Yeah, two letters. Right? So Tanan, shtei ICS b'diyoi, v'shtei ICS b'kulmus, shtei ICS b'kalmarin. So two letters with die, and two letters with a kulmus. What do you say? Kulmus is a pen, right? Quill. There you go. Quill. And it's also two ICS. I mean, I guess enough to write two ICS with it. And shtei ICS b'kalmarin. And that kalmarin is the, I don't know the word for it, the thing you stick the quill into. There must be a fancy word.
Inkwell.
What?
Inkwell.
There you go. Inkwell. Fine. So that's two ICS for each one of those. So Gemara has an interesting question. So let's say he takes out one letter of die, and he takes out one letter with on the quill, and he takes out one letter in the inkwell, right? So now really we said each one of those needs you to take out enough die for two. But here you didn't take out two for each one, you took out one for each one. But really you carried out enough for three. Right? You took out enough ink. Ultimately, the ink that made it out was to dye three letters. So what's the din? Ma'al so teku. It's teku. Now, what's interesting with this, and we discussed this once before, but it's kedai to bring it up, is that what about carrying out the actual? We're talking about the dye that's on in the inkwell and the dye that's on the quill, right? What about the quill itself, right? So the answer is that when we're talking about carrying out, let's say when you carry out a half of a shear of food, we discussed, remember a couple of blot ago, that you're not chayav on the kli that's holding the half a shear, which is very interesting. I wouldn't say that on my own, but if you have let's say we said it's a groigris, a dried fig is the amount that you have to carry out of food, of the average food, right? So let's say you carry out a half a groigris in a bottle. So you're not chayav on the bottle, right? Because that's not the issue that you're carrying. You're carrying the food, not the. I mean, the bottle becomes bottled to the food, and you're not going to be chayav on that, on both of them. Okay, so Amar Rava, yeah, he takes out enough dye to write two letters, and he's writing as he's walking in the street, right? I guess that's the modern version of texting while walking, right? So he's writing while he walks. Is that called putting it down or Rishus Harabim? Right? So ksivasan zui anachasan. As you write, that's the equivalent of putting it down. Meaning, let's just back up a second. In order to be chayiv of carrying from Rishus Hayachid to Rishus Harabim, you have to pick it up in Rishus Hayachid. This goes way back to our first Mishna in the Masechta. You have to pick it up in Rishus Hayachid, put it down in Rishus Harabim. Right? If you don't put it down in Rishus Harabim, you're not chayiv. So if you have a piece of paper in your hand and you're writing as you walk, is that called putting it down? Because the bottom line is you're writing on a piece of paper, so you're putting it down. Correct? So the Gemara is saying you are chayiv because for putting it down, because ksivasan zui anachasan, the writing is what is considered placing it down. Let's say you write one letter, right? You take out one letter's worth of dye and you write it. And then you go back inside and you take out another letter and you write it down. Potter, then you're potter, my timer. Why? Because at the time that you take out the second letter, you're missing the shear of the first letter because it was already put down. Meaning, if when you go and you take something with Rishus Hayachid that's not the right amount, you take it with Rishus Hayachid, put it down with Rishus Harabim. So what's it in? You didn't do a shear, right? So you're potter. Now you go take the other half and you go back inside, take the other half and put it down. So you never ever, at one point, you never took out the entire shear, which we're going to get to in a minute exactly in which situation you be chayav in potter. But what we're saying here is that once you wrote it down on the paper, so you only wrote down one letter, that wasn't enough of a shear. Now the malacha is done. Now you go back and do it again. That's a separate malacha, right? So that's what we mean. But so when you take out the second one, you're missing the shear of the first one. Let's say you take out a half of a dried fig, which is the measurement for food, right? One half of a dried fig, and you put it down. Right? And then you go take out the other half. We look at the first one as if a dog ate it. Or it got burned, right? So the Gemara says, why? Why you be chayiv, right? You placed it down. Meaning, was this done in one forgetting or two forgetting? So we're assuming this is done in one big forgetting. So like we've discussed, when you do it in one forgetting, they combine, right? Meaning, if he had brought it out and put it down, and then he remembered it was Shabbos, and then he went and did it again, so of course they don't combine. But here we're talking about where he totally forgot that it was Shabbos. Took it from Rishus Hayachid, put it down Rishus Harabim, went back in, took the other half, put it down Rishus Harabim. They should combine. He placed it down. So Gemara says, meaning, let's say we're talking about if somebody came and picked up the first piece before you had an opportunity to bring the second piece, then of course they don't combine. You got it? So basically what happened is you took out a half of a dried fig of, let's say, of a dried fig. You took out a half a dried fig. That's not the shear. You put it down. Then you went back inside to get another one, and you put it down next to it, you're going to be chayiv. But what happens if when you went back inside to get the other one, somebody else came and took that dried fig and ate it? So now, of course, you're not going to be chayiv because you never had two dried figs sitting next to each other at the same time in Rishus Hayachid. It's a very lumdish thing, this thing.
Why does that have to be somebody else?
It doesn't have to be somebody else, really, but I don't think it has to be somebody else. But what, you think it has to be somebody else?
No.
Right, I'm just saying for clarity's sake. Right? He said, right, he went and picked up the first one, and then, well, the nafkamina could be, let's say he picked it up from its original spot and moved it to another spot. Will they combine? Right? I hear. All right?
So, Yaakov, why once the first hanacha is done, why don't we just say Nasser's Rishon and Kamisha Nikolta? Why does it have to take it that somebody else took it?
No, because we're saying since they're both sitting there right next to each other, so
you already did the Akira and Anacha.
Right, but it's one helam. It's one forgetting.
But that's what I'm asking. How's that possible?
What?
How's that possible if you finished the Anacha? How's it the helam? How does that work?
What do you mean? You took half a shiurim.
You did them separately, though.
What?
But you did them separately.
No, but it's helam echas combines them.
Meaning you finished the malacha already by doing the anacha. How does it?
No, but they combine. The default is that they do combine. When you did it in one forgetting, then they do combine. They combine to each other.
I'm saying they're completely different. They're two different actions. I don't know. You did it.
Both of them. It's the same. They will combine to each other because you did it the helam echas.
I would say that.
Let's say 1 second. Let's say he did a.
Then why does it matter if somebody else picked it up? Who cares that somebody else picked it up?
No, because once the first so this is where it gets lumdish and it's not so easy to understand. When the first person picks it up, so now there's nothing for the second one, the second half of Groigers to attach to. So that's what I'm saying. Why is there anything to attach to anyways? You finished Anacha. Why isn't that enough to say there's nothing to attach to? That's exactly. That's correct. That's exactly what the Gemara is saying. That when it has something to attach to, then we do combine it. If it doesn't have what to attach to, then we don't combine it.
But I'm asking, there's nothing to attach to either way. When you finished Anacha, you finished it. There's nothing to attach
at the end of the day,
you redid the Maisa.
No, because if they're both sitting there at the end of the day, you have a full Groigers that you carry from Rosh Hashanah to Rosh Hashanah. You did.
That's true either way. Who cares whether it's there or not? Either way. If somebody or yourself took it from that spot, and by the time you bring out the second one, there's nothing there. So a complete malacha was not done, at least in the final stage of it. Right? That's the way I understand it. Listen, this is not easy Gemara to understand in the Lumdish. It's not. Let's go a little further. Maybe you'll get a little clearer. I doubt it, but maybe. Yeah. V'amar Rava, chatzi groigros v'nicha. Right. If you take a half a groigros and you put it down, v'chazav chatzi groigros v'vira, and you take another chatzi groigros and v'hayvira derech aleh. Now, chayiv. And what happens is you take half a groigros out, so that's not enough. So you put it right. Then you take another half a groigros and it passes over the other groigros. Then you're going to be chayiv. Yeah, this is even more of a interesting case than the last one. No, Akiva, right? Meaning he's saying you don't even need to put it down as long as one groigros passes over the other one, right?
Even though it's not in Rosh Hashanah?
It is Rosh Hashanah.
How is Derech Aliyah in Rosh Hashanah?
No, I don't mean Derech Aliyah. I don't think it means it passed over it.
Within 10 tefachim. Over it.
Well, we're going to see because we're going to see in the next. Yeah, huh? Yeah, let's just see. Yeah, v'amai haloi noch. It didn't rest, right? So it says going shavira toich shloisha. No, so since it's the rule called loved, right? Anything that's within 3 to the ground is as if it's in the ground. So therefore, this thing had to pass over within 3 tefachim of the other half of groigros that's on the floor. Therefore, they will combine.
I can hear that more than the other case, but yeah.
You do?
Well, if it's Behel Mechad.
This one was never even put down in the Rosh Hashanah. It was saying.
But you say loved. I'm saying you're saying loved.
I'm saying you're saying loved on a moving object.
Don't we say that Kamisha? Didn't that a whole sugya earlier about kilkul to Kamisha? I'm saying.
Well, so that could be the next line. So
yeah, but still, so why don't you have a problem that it was 2 different meisim over here? That's what I was saying.
No, because in the Gemara originally, when the Gemara originally asked the question, the Gemara is saying it was Behel Mechad. I don't understand. If you're saying it's Behel Mechad, I could hear that. But because somebody else came along and took it, I don't know why that stares up one way or another. Behel Mechad, I could hear. But to say that physical taking away affects it,
That you're changing the whole idea of it. You're changing what
Well,
the
okay,
reason
'cause
why
he's saying that the
why
end of
they
the
combine. If you're saying
Right.
Ba'al Mechad works, it works. Who cares whether somebody took it away or not?
Yeah. Okay, let's see the next case because the Gemara asks your kasha, at least one of your kashas, yeah? So, V'amar Rava, Tosh Shlosh L'Rabbanon Tzorach Hanocha Al Gabi Mashahu. According to the Rabbanon, you need to actually has to rest on something. You can't be mechayev it if it doesn't rest on at least something, right? So the Gemara says, "Like kasha kam bezayra kam b'mavir." No, one is talking about where you threw it. When you threw the groigris through the, that wasn't a good pun, right? When you threw the groigris through the, that's two different spellings, okay? When you threw the groigris through the reshus harabim, right? So then it needs to rest on something. But with mavir, where it's in your hand, then it doesn't have to. Okay, fine. So then the Gemara says, Tana Rabbanan, another interesting case. Hoitzi chatzi groigris. If you take out a half a groigris, v'chazer v'hoitzi chatzi groigris behelam echad chayev. Okay, that's pashut. I mean, I don't know if it's pashut, but that's a classic case. Again, you took out half a groigris, and then you went and took out another half a groigris, and the whole time you had no idea it was Shabbos. You're going to be chayev korban. B'shtei halamas potter, right? If you took out a half a groigris, like we discussed, then somebody tells you, hey, it's Shabbos. You say, oh, it's Shabbos. Oh, that was bad. And then you forget the next minute that it's Shabbos. So now those two don't combine. If you do it behelam echad and one forgetting two reshus echad to one reshus, then you're chayev. The shtei reshuyas to do different properties, then you're going to be potter, right? Now, how do you understand that? Right, they're both reshus harabim, let's say, but they're two, like Rashi says. I'm sorry, they're both reshus hayachid, right? But there's a hefsek between them, right? If you look at the chart in Rashi, see, it's reshus harabim. I don't know, mine is an old Gemara, so it's really not such a great chart in the Rashi, that's not what Rashi is referring to right at this point, but it's a similar thing. So you have a house on either end, then you have reshus harabim, then a reshus hayachid, or a carmelus, a pisla in the middle, right? So we're saying that if you took out from one house,
what's a pisla?
Pisla is just a piece of wood. Pisla is just a piece of wood. We'll get to the Gemara in a minute.
Right.
Just a piece of wood. But basically, Rabbi Yossi is saying if it's helam echad to reshus echad, you're chayiv. L'shtei reshu is potter, right? Meaning if you take it out from one house to reshus harabim, and then you went to the other house and took it out to reshus harabim, but there were two different reshus harabim because it was a reshus hayachid blocking in the middle, right? So therefore, he says you're going to be potter if it's to do different reshuyas. So Amar Rabba, that's only when there's mamash of chatas between them, which would be reshus hayachid. Aval carmelis loy, but a carmelis, as we know, carmelis is no man's land. It's something in between reshus hayachid and reshus haram. So therefore, there's no chi of chatas because that's only asim with the rabbanon. So therefore, he doesn't say that's not enough of a separation. Even a carmelis would be enough of a separation to make you potter. A pisla, which is a piece of like a higher piece. Rashi says it's a piece of wood it's laying down widthwise in reshus harabim. Okay, and you basically took out a half a groigris to one side of this piece of wood, and a half a groigris to the other side of the piece of wood. So we're saying even though that piece of wood is enough to consider it to two different properties, and therefore those properties will not combine. Akiva, I don't know how you understand this one because I don't understand why that should change anything. I mean, I understand that it's a different property, but they're both reshus harabim. Just because there's a piece of wood in between them shouldn't change what the guy did wrong, which is that he ended up carrying out a groigris on Shabbos. Okay, but Rabba Amar afilu pisla. Rabba says even a pisla. Was the Rabba l'tamei? Dama Rabba reshus Shabbos reshus gittin dami. Reshus Shabbos is reshus gittin, right? And by gittin, a pisla is considered its own reshus. So therefore for Shabbos it's also okay. Fine. So that's basically. But the main thing to know from this is that if you do take out, according to Rabbi Yossi at least, if you take out the two different reshus harabims that are separated by either a carmelis or a pisla or a reshus hayachid, then they will not combine according to Rabbi Yossi. Each half groigris will not combine.
What's with Seagert, Lamashal? If Seagert had the right amount of people with a median in between, is that a Carmelis?
The median?
Grass, yeah.
I don't know. Would that be considered l'chayra, right? The rabbi.
Yaakov, what's the difference
That's
in a Carmelis and a
example. That's a good example, right? If you took out for one house on one side of Seager and then another house on another side of Seager, right? So that would be an example of very good. What are you saying?
What's the difference between a Carmelis and a Karfif?
No, a Karfif is a Karfif. Well, your truth is you're right. A Carmelis is a Karfif. It really is. A Karfif is a Carmelis. A Karfif is basically something that's not usable. Since it's not usable, there was a gezerah. You can't have that in an Eruv.
The Karfif is the same thing. It's only 2,000 amas.
Well, a Karfif is not. A Karfif is 50 by 100 amas. That's it. A Karfif is relatively small. A Carmelis, anything could be, even smaller than that could be a Carmelis. Yeah. Meaning you could only make an Eruv in a Carmelis. You cannot make an Eruv with sticks and strings in Rosh Hashanah, only in a Carmelis. And a Karfif is not even allowed to be in that Carmelis.
It has to have its own Eruv around it.
Correct. Well, to eliminate it. Right, to eliminate it. Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Can you
okay,
can you tell me what a karfif is?
A karfif is basically, behind Jesse's house.
I was about to say next to my house.
Next to Jesse's house is a karfif. It's
like
it's
a place
full
a place that's completely unusable.
Correct.
Not Royal Ladira.
Well, it's not. It could be Roy Ladira too, but if people don't live there, it could also be. But for sure, if it's not inhabited by humans and not possible to be inhabited by humans, then it's not. Then it's a karfif. Some want to say that parks could also be parks that are not really used. Golf clubs and stuff like that. Maybe
I was just going to ask about golf.
Not clubs, not clubs. The club that Icky put on his thing of me swinging. No, I mean the actual golf course. Sorry, golf course.
Yeah.
Okay, golf course. Okay. Anyways, okay. So that's that. Well, obviously, there's a lot more to be done with this, with the carrying. But
the water traps.
What? The water traps.
Water
Yes.
traps.
Right. Yeah. So we said that chol, which is the blue stuff, like a blue makeup, that's to put it on one eye. Ayin achas halay kachli. Right? What do you mean one eye? Who puts makeup on one eye? Right? It should be two eyes. So Amar Rav Huna shekain tznuas kochlis ayin achas. No, because the tznuas only do one eye. Right? Meaning they only these people are, what are the name of those people? The ladies that wear the black in Israel?
Burkas.
Burkas. So the burkas keep both eyes, right? Or they don't have any eyes. You do see the eyes? You see the eyes? Okay, so these
some of them have it, some of them don't. They have like a screen.
Okay, so these ladies even frummer than that. They only keep one eye open. No, they only keep one eye revealed, so they only have to put makeup on that one eye, right? So Meisir Rab Shimon ben Elazar, I make kachol imlu refuah. So what's the measurement of kachol? If it's for healing, they look halay and achas. If it's for refuah, it's for one eye. Im lakashit. If it's for makeup, for bezin eye. So you see that for makeup, the minimum amount is 2 eyes worth of makeup, not one. Right? So Tirgam Hillel Breder of Shmuel Bar Nachmeni Kitanyahu Be'ironias. That's talking about small little towns. So in small little towns, this is a fascinating Rashi. But I don't want to get stuck with a woman's tznius conversation over here. But Rashi basically says in small cities, you don't need that much tznius. Now, what does that mean? Does that mean everybody should move to a small city now so the women don't have to dress tznius? Right?
It's an option.
So, what?
That's an option.
No, right. So that's not what it's.
I know a guy in South Bend that you could talk to.
Welcome to New Rochelle.
New Rochelle, you go. Very good. Okay. So what he says, Rashi, is Shein schoik v'kalas roish matzu sham. In small towns, there's not that much partying going on. You know what I mean? Comes 9 o'clock at night in South Bend, I'm sure there's not a traffic light. There's not, I'm saying, the whole place closes down.
Tumbleweeds, man. Tumbleweeds.
There you go. Okay, so it's a tumbleweeds. There's nothing going on there, right? The amamuat, and it's a small people, not small size. I'm saying small amounts of people. So there they don't. Since there's less, has it called frivolity? Since there's less frivolity over there, therefore you can be less. You have to be less wary of people hitting up on you. Just a very interesting thing.
So, Yaakov, isn't it interesting that there's for the women that cover one eye, they still have to put on makeup on the other eye.
That's I didn't want to I didn't want to go that road. No, that just shows you that's the teva of women. But okay,
But it's one eye. Their mom is being tsunua, and they still have to do makeup.
No, but it could be that back then, it wasn't. They had to, because basically, how come our women don't have to cover their faces? Because we're used to it. Meaning, we're in a society they don't cover their faces. If theoretically we lived in Arabic places where all the women cover their faces, then the halacha would have to be that women would have to cover their face. It's totally in minig. Same thing with the whole stockings issue. I'm not going down this road. We're not going down this road yet. This is a summer sugya. Well, I'm sure we'll have time to discuss it. Okay?
Maybe not this year.
Maybe not this year, Taka. But the bottom line is the face is also tali minigamakum. Same thing with the hands, face, and all that. So since we live in places that we're used to seeing women's faces, they don't have to cover it, right? But in an Arabic place, you have to. So maybe these women had to do it because they had to. Doesn't mean they still didn't want to wear makeup.
I was thinking, could it be fakert that the kilkul was to cover the skin that's still there? The eyeball they can't cover.
Yeah. I mean, it was a tznius thing.
Yeah.
It's lakashet. What does that mean? They're making themselves.
Yeah,
they still say it's
adorning themselves. It doesn't mean it's to make them attractive. It could be they're just okay. Fair. I hear. I didn't think of that. Maybe. Write it down in the Chedushin. Okay. Yeah, so Shen Shava, by the Shava, they lead up in neck of cotton, wax to put it on a hole. Tanak, they lead up in neck of cotton shel yain, onto a small opening of a wine barrel. Devek, they lead in Berosh Shavshav, right? Glue, you put it on top of those mouse traps that have the glue on it to catch the mice that you glue. So they used to do that for birds too. They would put out a trap, put glue on it, hope the bird lands on it, and then you trap it. So you're putting it on top of this little cardboard. I don't know if it's cardboard, but a little piece that you're going to smear glue on it so that the trappers, the bird will land on it. Right? So pitch. Neck of cotton. It's to make a small little hole, to burn a small little hole through there. Charsis pikur. So charsis is to make the opening of a pikor. Remember the shiur, the review, the nafish. This is a very interesting kasha from the Gemara. Do you mean to say that the measurement of Rabbi Yehuda is more than the Rabbanon, right? Kaimal the shiur, the Rabbanon nafish. We know that the shiur of the Rabbanon, meaning the Rabbanon seem to be the more maker one, and they have larger shiurim for carrying out on Shabbos. The Tran Rabbi Yehuda says that the measurement for the gemi, we said yesterday, is to measure a kid's shoe size, right, which is smaller. So it's a little bigger shear. It's to put enough. How do you call it? Lasud is not lie, right? Put kira ketana to put on a tripod for a small pot, a small oven. Okay, so basically we raised it. So the interesting question is maybe who says it has to be, and we're gonna have this on Amud base too. Who says it has to be set across the board that the Rabbanon always have larger measurements? Maybe for one thing the Rabbanon could have one opinion, and for another thing they have a different opinion. Why does it have to be set that the Rabbanon always are having the larger share? So like that's a kasha. Okay. Tarabbanon. Hamatzi Seyar, one who carries out hair, they legalo by a tit in order to put it into mud. For some reason, putting this into mud would make it stronger. Right? I guess it's stronger. Rashi says yafal tit. It was nice for tit, so I imagine it makes it stronger. Last is pikur shutzavizov, to make the opening of the bellow of those that gold people that melt down gold. Sid k'dei lasud. Okay, so now we get back to tznias here. So sid is lie in order to I think that's where you touch sid. Sid is lie, not lie. Mud.
Lyme.
Lime.
L-I-M-E.
Oh, L-I-M-E or L-Y-M-E?
L-I-M-E.
L-I-M-E. So what is it? What is that in?
It's a kind of plaster. Plaster.
Okay.
It's a mineral deposit.
Oh,
they make plaster out of it, but they also you can throw it on the ground to close up the garden for the year, and there's all sorts of things you can do with it.
I guess in South Bend they must have this stuff.
You should see my garden.
All right.
Isn't it the white stuff the gardener sprinkles on top of when he finishes gardening? Isn't
I
that
thought
lime?
that's fertilizer.
Fertilizer. No, but
That's fertilizer when you start the garden, but to close up for the winter so it doesn't kill the grass and the plants.
the white stuff. Isn't that lime? It's the white
What?
powder. White powder.
It
White
sounds like
powder.
it's Cully, which white stuff we're talking about. The white stuff
Well,
in
in
the
South Bend, it
spring
could
and
be
the white
meth.
stuff in the fall.
In South Bend, it could be meth. Who knows?
Okay, anyways. So Tana,
Devil's
how much is the measurement? What?
I called it the devil's dandruff.
Oh, very good. Tana, they lost an etzba katana shavabonas. It's enough. The measurement is to put enough of this cream. Let's call it a cream, yeah, to take it as a practical. To cream on the small finger of girls. So now we have a machlokes Rashi tells us what this means. Hagila pirkon means they're already maturing physically, right? But they're not of the age to, so they're embarrassed. So they use this as hair removal. Rashi said, that's Rashi. Toysa says that the pshat is that they want to make themselves look nicer because they're in shidduchim. Either way, so b'nois aniyim toifles oisam b'sid. The poor people use sid. B'nois ashirim toifles oisam b'silas. And the rich women use some sort of flour together with it. That does the hair removal. B'nois melachim toifles oisam b'shemen hamar. And king's daughters use it with shemen hamar. Shenemar shisha chadashim b'shemen hamar. I hope everybody recognizes that pasuk. If there's any pasuk, right? The ones in Megillah Esther, for some reason, we all recognize a little better, either because we're very hungry when they're reading it, or we're just happy or something. I don't know. My shemen hamar. What's shemen hamar? Rav Huna bar Chia Amar sateches. It's sateches, which is a flavor. It's oil that has smells and stuff like that, has extra ingredients. It's olive oil that has not been ripe by a third. Anfikun is olive oil that doesn't have a third. And why do you use it to shmir? Shemesher is a seir from an adin basar. So it removes hair and it makes the basar look red. So it acts as like a shtickle of makeup. Now this is a fascinating story right here. For all those that like beer, listen to this ma'aseh. Yeah, Rav bibi Havile Barta, right? Rav bibi had a daughter, Tafla Eva, and this is a fascinating story for a few reasons. So Tafla Eva, so what she did is she used this cream or whatever it was on her, but she did it limb by limb. And Shokaba Dalin Meya Zuzi. Rav bibi got 400 zuz from a man to marry her because it made her look so pretty that he actually collected money. I don't understand what this means. I thought you're supposed to support, right? To support a guy. Here, he's taking money to marry off his daughter. And this is Rav bibi. Okay? So I don't begin to understand that, but that's the story. Of course, Havahu Nachri b'Shevavu. Say there was a guy in his neighborhood, so he heard about this Havile Parta. Tafla b'chad zimna umesa. So what she did is she didn't have the patience to do limb by limb. She did her whole body. Now it makes the body look red. So obviously the body overheated and she died, right? So Omar called the Rav bibi lebarti. He said Rav bibi killed my daughter because my daughter decided to try to do this, or he tried because he wanted to at least collect money to get his daughter married off. And Rav bibi killed my daughter. So whatever it is, what do you see? That you have to do limb by limb, right? That's what we see from the Gemara. So Rav Nachum, Rav bibi, the Shasi Shechra. So Rav bibi, who drank a lot of beer, and there was beer flowing in his house, Bayan Bansei Tafla. So therefore, his daughters need this hair removal because you drink a lot of beer, and it causes hair growth. Ananda, but our house, we don't drink beer, so our daughters don't need so much hair removal. All right. So if there's women in your house and they're always busy going to the hair place, whatever, the waxings, stop drinking the beer, and then maybe it won't cost you so much money. I don't know. That's the lesson I take from this Gemara. I don't know. I have no idea.
Less beer, more bourbon.
Okay, that's yes. Okay, yes. Anyways, that can't really tell you.
Were they drinking beer?
Were the girls drinking the beer or the father drinking?
See, I'm not sure. What do you say?
Sounds like they were drinking beer, and that's why they
like
had so
they
much
were
hair.
drinking beer. I mean, listen, they didn't have soda back then.
They didn't have
the girls.
They didn't have
What?
they didn't necessarily have water, so they used to drink. It was mead. They would
Yeah,
drink.
I mean, right. Well, yeah, correct. That's what I think. Yeah. Fine. Okay. Vaitum Gemara. Rabbi Yehuda, because they lost it kilkul. My kilkul or my andifi. So what's a kilkul and what's an andifi? So Amar Rav Tzida Ubas Tzida. What it is the temple and the daughter of the temple, meaning the lower temples. That's what they would use. That's where they would put this cream on the temple to flatten the hair. You know, the little baby hairs that stick out, right? Why I even know from baby hairs? Because all the women are busy taking their baby hairs and cutting it off and putting it into their wigs, and they want to know if that's mutter. That's why I'm aware of this stuff. Anyways, so they would take the baby hairs and they would flatten it out so it looks better. So the member of the shiur, again, the same kasha we had on Amud Aleph. The member of the shiur, the Rabbi Yehuda nafish. You said that the measurement of Rabbi Yehuda is more. Hakaimel the shiur the Rabbanan nafish. The measurement of the Rabbanan always the larger measurement, not Rabbi Yehuda. Zut, so Gemara says, Zut mid Rabbanan, but nafish mid Rabbi Nechemia. No, it's smaller. Rabbi Yehuda is a smaller shear than the Rabbanans, but it's bigger shear than Rabbi Nechemia, right? Fine. So Meisvei Amar Rav Nirin Divrei Rabbi Yehuda b'Chavav Divrei Rabbi Nechemia b'Pizzas. It appears to me that Rabbi Yehuda's words appear to me by Chavot, meaning they seem to be correct by Chavot, and Rabbi Nechemia is by Pizzas. Yeah? Pizzas Asidim, sorry. Visak that it's Tzido Bas Tzido, Idi Chavot, right? If you're going to say that it's Tzido and Bas Tzido, it's always by the temple, then Idi B'Chavot, that's always by, that's all, meaning it's gonna be talking about by Sid, right? So therefore it's not Tzida and Bas Tzida. So Allah Amar Rav Yitzchak Amri Dvei Rabami on Daifa is it's going on in Daifa, which is it's talking about Rashi says it's a jug that has two openings, right? It has two, like spouts to let out the stuff. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna put some of this lime inside it to stop it up. Right, so Maskor of Kanav Adam Isa on Paris is a person just taking his money and just throwing it out. Meaning, Rashi says what this means is if you're going to take lime and use it on your kalim and to stop it up, and then you're going to put wine, let's say, or something into the kli, that lime is going to dissipate into your wine or whatever drink you're putting in there, and it's going to kill it. Right?
It'll also make you sick.
Yeah, you're right. So what are you just throwing out your money? How could it be that that's the measurement that we're talking about? Right? But it is little markings. Like you have a measuring cup and you have these little things for, half a cup, full cup, 3/4 a cup and all that. That's what this is. Right? Hin is a measurement in the Mishkan and the Beis HaMikdash. And there were these markings in a hin. Adkan lepar, this is how much you need for a cow, meaning for the karbonis, for the cow. Adkan la'ayil, this is for a goat. Adkan lekeves, this one is for a sheep. That's okay, so that's one shot, that you used it for the amount to carry it out is the amount that you put on there. Andifa, afusa, right? What's andifa? It's afusa. Yeah, how do you touch on afusa?
The forehead.
What do they say?
The forehead.
They say the forehead. Okay. This actually has to do with Shavuos. This Gemara. That's very interesting. What's the haftarah for Shavuos? Anybody know? First day. Nobody knows because everybody's falling asleep at haftarah. What are you making a face?
I think everybody knows.
Everybody knows it's Ma'aser Merkava. That's why they go to sleep.
Because nobody has any idea what it's talking about.
Okay.
You're not allowed to learn it. Why even listen?
Ma'aser Merkava literally means the story of the chariots. Oh man, it's 10:01. Okay, so it has to do with what went on before the world was created, right? So the Mela, you're not supposed to darshan that in the public. So this person came and he traveled to Golil and he said he's going to do a Ma'aser Merkava drasha. He said, I'm going to darshan to you the way Reb Nechemia darshan to his friends, which was not in a public setting, I'm assuming. V'nafka ar isa min kaisel v'machtes andifi umis. And this ar isa came out of the wall. A tzira is like a wasp or some sort of one of these type of things. And it went into his andifi and he died. Right? From this came this, meaning he did this to himself because he was going to discuss Ma'aser Merkava in the public. And he shouldn't have, so therefore he died. So whatever it is, you see, andifi means in his forehead. So therefore, therefore, you see andifi means that enough sid to put on their forehead for makeup. Okay, Zok the Mishnah.
Was this the original murder hornet?
It wasn't a murder. It happened. What do you mean?
This was a murder hornet.
Oh, a
2,000
murder
years ago.
hornet.
Invading United States now.
Yeah.
I never even heard of it. Yeah? Okay. Adama can get. I don't want to wait for Myra for me.
Is it 10 o'clock?
Yeah, I don't know how it got to 10 o'clock so fast. Okay, Adama, so let him just tell him down without me. Adama, please. Adama kechaisam amartzufin. Right?
Tiago, we're 3. Me, you, Mush is 3. And if they have more than 10, we can
I don't
make
know how many
another
they have out there. I don't know.
Yeah, but then they're going to want to wait for mommy.
What?
They're going to want to wait for mommy.
Yeah. See how many people are out there.
Tiago, if you need, I didn't daven yet.
Oh, yeah? Okay, thank you. Adama kechaisam amartzufin. So Adama is like the seal of martzufin. Those are the big sacks that you use to how you call it? To ship things. So that's, you would seal it with this Adama. It's not as large as sacks. It's just for letters. Zevel v'chol hadek. This we had 2 days ago. No, yesterday actually. Zevel v'chol hadek. Zevel parrots, right? Manure or whatever, fertilizer. The chol hadek and the thin sand. That's in order to put it to fertilize a stalk of kruv, right? A type of vegetable. He says it's to do a krisha. I don't know how you touch that. I think one of them is like a gourd, and I think I don't know how you touch it. Yeah. Chol hagas kedelitin amaloi kafsir. A thick sand is to put on a spoon of sid, right? Well, we'll see what that means in Gemara. Kana kedelas is kumas. A reed is in order to make a what do you call a kumas again? A pen, not a pen. A quill. Thank you. To make a quill. If it's thick or it's like beat up, you would have to be big enough that you can light it up, and that will cook a light egg for it. Like the lightest of the lightest eggs of beitzim, which we'll see means chicken eggs. Trufa, beat up on the suna bilvas and put into a frying pan. Meaning, if you take the easiest the easiest egg to fry and you I don't know, you guys are the cooking experts. Does it take less fuel to make a scrambled egg than to make a hard-boiled egg? From this Gemara, it sounds like yes. Yeah, everybody's in agreement with that? Okay. Yeah, so that's what it's saying. It would be you only need enough straw to cut it up and to use it to light to make a scrambled egg. Okay, so Zog the Gemara. Amaloi kaf sid on to fill up a spoon of sid. Tanak delitin al pi kaf shel sayodin, to put it on the mouth of a spoon of the sayodin is the people that what do you call it? The plaster guys. Mantana the chol ma'ilule the sid. Who says that sand works for sid? Amar Rav Chisda Rabbi Yehuda the Tani lo yosed adam a space of sid ela imkin iru by teven oichol. A person should not put sid in his house unless he mixes in a little bit of grain or sand. Now what's he doing? Why is he doing this sid? But after the churban, Rashi says, after the churban, you need a zeichel churban. So you're putting like a square of sid that doesn't look so great in order to remind you that not to get too comfortable because we're really unhappy to be here because there's a churban. Rav Yehuda Omer teven mutter, chol aser. If it's teven, it's mutter. Chol is aser. Meaning it shouldn't be so white. Mipnei shu tarsid. It's because it's a trasid, which is very strong, and it's gonna be too strong. No, you could even say it's according to Rabbanan. When you do something destructive, right, then the kilkul is in itself a tikkun. Okay, so that's basically how much do you need into these things to be considered the amount to carry out. So a reed is to make a quill. Tana kulmas hamagil lekishriyat ba'asim, meaning how long is the quill? You can have a quill that's very large, or you can have a quill that's very short. So we say until it reaches up to your fingers, right? Boy Ravashi kesher elyon kesher tachton. Of course, is it up to first knuckle or the second knuckle, meaning how big does the quill have to be? So the Gemara answers teku. So teku. Fine. Okay. I guess let's go to the next Mishna. And if it's thick, tana truva b'shemen and asuna be'ofetz. It's ground up with oil. Not ground up is not the right word. It's mixed, I guess. What do you want to say, Gershon? What?
Scrambled.
Oh, scrambled. Okay, scrambled with oil and put into a frying pan. Amarle marbre du Ravina lebre. So marbre Ravina said to some Mishmiel of Beitza Kala. Did you hear? Did you hear what is a Beitza Kala? Amarle biasa tziltzala. It's a egg of a tziltzala, which is a small bird. My time mashum dezurti because it's very small. So I guess if it's small, it's easy to cook it. Aima de tzifrasa. But why don't we say it's a tzifrasa? It's even smaller bird. Okay, Ishtik, he was quiet. Amalei midi shmiyalachva. Did you hear anything about this? Amalei hachi amar sheshes beitzas tarnagailas. It's an egg. It's a regular chicken egg. My karle beitza kala. Why is it called a light egg? Shir chacham ein lecha beitza kala levashel yosmi beitza tarnagailas. Because a chacham measured and they figured out that the easiest egg to cook is a chicken egg. Okay. Or Mishna kol shir Shabbos kegroigas v'avim beitza. Or how come every measurement on Shabbos food-wise we say it's a dried fig, and here we're saying it's an egg? What it means is it's a groigris worth of an egg, meaning an egg is bigger than a groigris. So we're saying no, it doesn't mean you have to take out the whole egg. You have to take out a dried fig's amount of an egg that would be from a chicken. All right, have yourselves a good night. Okay, I'll see if I get to my parents. I'll let you know what the story is with the Mara.
All right, and thank you for having us in mind first before Minion. Be well.
Yeah. Thanks. All right. Have a nice.
Okay.
Good night.
Hi, everybody.
Touches, fellas.
Hold on, let me just take off my virtual background.